football game. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. With
Mike, Jake, what's going on, guys?
Upperly Drive and Baumhauer South on Courtney Drive. Let Baumhauer's Victory Grill put you in the best
you fixed the username.
house.
Looks good, man. Looks good.
With
I like it.
The Fair and Sports Radio Tide
Happy Thursday, guys.
And 12:30 a.m. WTBC. Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
What a beautiful afternoon. The sky's sunny. The high today 71. Tonight fair with the low at 44. For tomorrow and Saturday, a good supply of sunshine both days with mild afternoons. Highs between 72 and 75. I'm James Spann with the Alabama Weather Network on Tide 100.9. It's 67 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Once again with Christian Miller taking up that.
It's time for the Miller's Edge with New York Giants legend and South Carolina Hall of Famer Corey Miller and his son, 4-time SEC champion and 2-time national champion Christian Miller.
Knocked down again. It was Christian Miller.
Here is college football playoff national champion Christian Miller on Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC.
And welcome in. There we go. Welcome into this Thursday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 12:30 WTBC. False start on the play. That is on me. 15. Wait, I'm tripping. Not no 15-yard penalty. False start. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. What down would it be, Chase? It's Thursday, so we can't really say fourth down. We'll just say third down. I don't know. Welcome in. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are ready for another fun one here on the show. Nothing lined up in terms of the interview department, unless my dad randomly hops on here or what happens. But we definitely have plenty of time. We're going to dive into the Oklahoma, Alabama talk a little bit more. And, give you guys a little bit more of a preview there. Big shout out to Rodney Anderson who joined us yesterday. If you guys missed that, man, go back and listen to it. We had him on the show, I think around 11:30ish, so it's probably about 30 minutes in to yesterday's episode. But a lot of good stuff. Got his preview on the game. Again, he now works, a former Oklahoma running back, but now works with the collective there at Oklahoma. And he also answered some questions about the running game, which is an extremely hot topic with Alabama right now. So a lot of good stuff with that. You guys can always go back and check that out. But we'll be breaking it down ourselves here, talk about our keys, things we're looking out for, matchups, a little bit more in depth. Plus, I'll probably pull up some tape of Oklahoma. Now, again, you guys know we are live on radio, so we try to do that during the breaks because it's hard to try to break tape down for our listeners who are listening via the app or via radio. So we try to do it in between when we can. And we always can go overtime. We did that yesterday. And speaking of that, it actually was good. We pulled up the Vanderbilt game. Why did we do that? Well, speaking of the running game, we had a lot of success with the running game in that game against Vanderbilt, and rushing for like 130-some yards. And we got to see what the running game looks like when it is successful, when guys are executed, when we're getting our blocks, we're getting pushed, we're getting having success in the double teams, climbing to the next level. When we're running counter and the pullers get their kick out blocks, guys block down and open up lanes. So we got to see all that on the tape. So if there's anything else like that you guys have coming to mind, let me know. We can always pull it up. Worst case, we do it at the end like we did yesterday. But just always know we can do that. I always enjoy breaking down some tape. Per usual, got to remind you about our friends over at the Good Feet Store, America's Art Sport Experts. Homecoming is this weekend. We got a home game, clearly. That means we will have another Good Feet Kick for Cash challenge. So sign up right now. GoodFeetKickForCash.com is the website. Name, email, that's all it takes, and you are enrolled. Now, that doesn't mean everybody gets an opportunity, but if you are selected, you do get a chance to go kick some field goals, 10, 20, 30 yards. Make them, you win free cash. If you miss them, you still walk away with the free gift bag from the Good Feet Store. So regardless, you're getting something free. Make sure you guys do that. GoodFeetKickForCash.com. Sign up right now, name and email. Plus, if you're dealing with any type of pain, foot pain, knee pain, or back pain, don't forget about the Good Feet Store with their premium art sports designed to eliminate and alleviate all types of pain. Chase, I'm back in my walking mode, man. I've been walking. Dude, I'm like a walkaholic, man. I walk in the morning. I walk after the show. I love to walk. And thanks to the Good Feet Store, man, I don't have to worry about any of the aching pain that I was dealing with the quad tendonitis, plantar fasciitis, all that stuff, man. It is a pain, literally. But the Good Feet Store and those art sports, man, they are game changers. So make sure you guys check them out. Try before you buy, nothing to lose. goodfeet.com for more information or find the nearest location to you. Got one here in Midtown Village, Tuscaloosa, 4 other locations throughout Alabama. They are game changers. Again, that is the Good Feet store, improving the quality of people's lives 2 feet at a time. Chase, man, what's going on? We haven't heard from you, but I know Reed talks a little bit. Chase, I haven't had you talk too much, man. What's going on with you today, bro?
So good to hear your voice, Christian. I appreciate you, bro. I'm doing pretty well. The weather is a lot nicer than it was yesterday. I was freezing for sure, but I'm excited for this weekend, honestly, Christian, which is Oklahoma, and just kind of where they're at with their football program because they're looking for an upset. They're looking kind of to put a fork in the road for Alabama. So I think I'm a little nervous about their defense because, Brent Venable and what they did last year to us, that is something I don't want Alabama football fans to go through again. That was brutal that Monday, I'll tell you that. But I'm good, man. I'm excited. It is one last thing. It is sad that college football is like at that midway point. That it's crazy how fast it's like I'm blinking and it's going to be Auburn week. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. But the good news is the playoffs extended some things. So, I mean, there's an opportunity for up to what we did the math on. It was like another 2 games or something like that. I mean, Alabama's in position to play an SEC championship game. Let me knock on my wooden desk right here. Again, the playoffs, now that it's extended, I mean, there's a good bit of football. So that is the good thing with that. But you are right. I mean, it has kind of, and it was weird because I felt like the first part of the season went by quick. It slowed down. I felt the middle portion like really it felt long to me at least. And now it kind of sped back up. But, it's part of it. And I don't know if you guys watch NFL, but NFL still has plenty of life in it as well. And you guys already know how we do on here. I mean, we're going to be talking football year round regardless. Transfer portal, spring ball, all that good stuff, man. I mean, it's nonstop action, but in terms of actually playing games, you're right. Kind of is getting to that point. But that's why we got to lock in, Chase. It's that time of the year where things really come down to the nitty-gritty, and you hit it, right? You talked about Oklahoma. I mean, they're a 2-loss team. They're very much alive in this whole race. Now, I don't know where they stand in terms of the whole SEC picture because, look, there's a lot of good SEC football teams right now that still kind of are in the hunt. Texas, they're a 2-loss team, but only 1 loss in the conference. I mean, they're right there. They got a tough remaining schedule with Georgia and A&M. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can happen and that will happen. But when you look at this matchup, you're right. I mean, they're very much going to come into this game hoping and looking to win it because that would give them a top 5 win. It would probably propel them, and I don't know necessarily about the SEC race, but in terms of the playoff picture, I mean, I believe that Oklahoma is ranked right now. I think they're a top 12 team on the latest college football playoffs. They're 11, yeah. So they're very much right there, and they're kind of on that cusp, right? So they need to win this game. So it's definitely going to be a matchup. We'll talk about it. Only thing is, Chase, you said their defense. We have to be careful, Chase, about talking about Oklahoma's defense. Here's why. Pat called. He said, "Oh, you're talking about ad nauseum." But then I get done with the show, Chase. I have an email, and not even this is the funny thing, Chase. Not even from, not like how do I explain this? People can send app messages or people can leave chats. Stuff like no. Chase, I got a whole email. Somebody took the time to go on our website, www.themillersedge.com. For any of you guys wondering, you can always go on our website. There's plenty of stuff on there, information, whatnot. But they literally went out of their way to find our contact email just to send an email from the other day, Chase, to say, enough about the Oklahoma defense. Goodness. Now, I don't think they say goodness, but the tone of it was pretty much like that. And I was like, damn, I didn't even think we were talking about it that much, but I guess it comes off like that. But here's the thing, guys. To me, that's probably like the key of the game, right? Like when you look at this matchup, you heard Rodney talk about it yesterday. They've been riding their defense, right? I mean, like offensively, Mateer, since he got injured, hadn't really been the same. Let me pull up his stats. I want to say, I think it's like maybe got 8 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. I mean, throwing the ball through the air hasn't really been their thing. They hadn't really established their running game. It's been a little bit better the last couple games. But what I'm getting at is, their defense, as you look at every statistic in every category, and not to mention just when you watch them play football, they're really good. But I think the misconception, Chase, is, and we'll talk about this, people say, oh, well, you look at Tennessee. Look at Tennessee and Ole Miss, they put up points. I'm like, yeah, they had success. You're talking about a Tennessee offense, which is literally like one of the highest scoring offenses in the country. Ole Miss, a very productive offensive team as well. They run tempo. They got a dual threat quarterback. The way those teams play football is a little bit different than how we play football, right? So we don't necessarily put up as many points. We try to have those longer, sustainable drives. And I think that style of play, I mean, will definitely make a difference in terms of point score. But again, at the end of the day, what does this Oklahoma football team do extremely well? They play damn good defense and they limit the points. So that's why we talk about it. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not going to waste too much time talking about an offense that's kind of, I would say, average right now at best. We'll definitely talk about it for our defense, right? From that perspective, what we need to do. But in terms of like when you think about it, I mean, this matchup to me comes down to what defense, and I'm going to get to all this in a minute, but what defense, right, can come up with those stops, those turnovers, because our defense is damn good defense too, and which offense can find a way to capitalize off of those just enough, right? That's how I feel like this game goes. I feel like it's going to be a game of damn good defense on both sides of the ball. And at the end of the day, which offense, when it comes down to those critical moments and capitalizing, right, can do just that to put their team over the edge. So if you guys are wondering why there's a little Oklahoma defense fatigue maybe with us talking about it, that's literally what they are. I mean, their head coach is Brent Venables, a defensive guy, and they're one of the best in the country. So we'll dive deeper into all that and more. Plus, we'll take your calls. 205-342-9904 is the number to the program. Love to get you guys on here. I know we had a couple of calls stranded yesterday because we were loaded up. If you guys want to circle back, man, please do. We'd love to have you. If you haven't already, check us out on YouTube. Again, the stream is every single day. We do the show live 11 to 1, completely free. All we ask is you like and subscribe. Very simple, right? You can watch me do the show. We'll share content on the screen. You can interact with the chat. All that good stuff as well. But first, we're going to take a time out. We come back, we keep on rolling right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230. WTBC presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Sport Experts. Quick timeout. We'll be right back. What's up, guys? Who we got? I know we got Jake. I know we got my guy Mike. Bishop Franklin, what's up, man? Salute. Kenji, what's going on? Yeah, this is my stash. It's November. You guys already know. But let me set the record straight now. I brought the stash back before it became a whole new thing again a few years ago. You hear me? Because, Top Gun, I got to be careful, man. My hands, I'm getting a little handsy, man. I'm punching my mic. Top Gun, the second Top Gun came out, what was like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago at this point. Everybody brought the stashes back, right? Before it was like, oh, they're creepy, they're weird, that's old. I was rocking the stash back in college, back like 2018. I had the stash. I had it in the NFL, right? Like that was a thing, right? Me, Gardner Minshew, a couple of us, but I'm just saying. I started the trend to bring it back, not like an actual stash. Obviously, that goes way back. Right. So I endured, right? Like I had to endure all the jokes, all my teammates making jokes. And now it's like a popular thing. Now it's like a normal thing again. So, but yes, I went ahead and went to I'm not going to lie. You guys probably saw it. I was trying to grow the beard, man. But man, it's just, I get the patchiness on the sides, bro. And it drives me nuts. Now, when it's long enough, you can kind of brush it over and stuff. But I was like, nah, who am I kidding, man? I got a hell of a stash that I can grow. We're going to lean into that. So that's what's going on there, Jake. That's what's going on there, man. Gov, what's up? Dwight, what's up? Sam, what's going on? Yes, sir. If you guys have it, man, hit that like button. That always helps us out. We appreciate it, man. I know it gets annoying when I say it. I apologize. I just have to remind you guys because it always helps push the content, man. What would be one thing offensively and defensively that could be key in Alabama winning this game? Yeah, Sam, I think it really boils down to this. You look at Oklahoma's offense, John Mateer, right? What he does with his legs. I think he's got like 300 yards on the ground this year. It just adds that extra element, that extra layer, something that a defense has to prepare for and has to manage, right? He kind of sprays the ball around sometimes. I mean, you still need to, be conscious of his arm. I mean, before the injury, this guy was highly regarded as a quarterback. Since then, he just hadn't. It makes sense. The injury was to his thumb on his throwing hand. And then, in terms of running game, been a little inconsistent. I think they started giving the younger guys some carries. What's his name? I have their numbers in mind, but they're back. The guy they initially were using, it's not him, but last couple games they've had some success on the ground. Definitely respect that part. They've had a lot. We heard from Rodney talking about it yesterday. Offensive line has kind of been inconsistent, banged up, been some rotating there. But I think the biggest key for our defense is a couple things. Number one, stopping John Mateer. When he does decide to run, whether that's scrambling, some of the quarterback design run stuff that just adds another element to their offense. I think that'll be a big key for our defense. And two, well, I guess three things. Turnover battle, right? Coming up with turnovers, getting our offense the ball back. Always a big deal, but I look at that in this game, knowing that their defense is a damn good defense. We're probably going to have some stalled drives. We're probably not going to be able to just march down the field. We need to get them back, get our offense the ball back as much as possible. And then three, red zone defense. Why is that going to be important? Well, you got to limit these guys to field goals like we've been doing. If you go back and look, I'm jumping the gun here. I want to talk about this, and I'll do it a little bit more in a minute. But if you go back and look, defensively, the fact that we've been holding teams in the red zone, I'm telling you, if you really pay attention, it's been huge. Because if you look at even LSU, say they had 3 touchdowns instead of 3 field goals, we only put up 20 points, 21-20. It's a different ball game, right? So red zone defense is critical, and we've been really good at it. It's going to be no different in this game. You're expecting your offense to probably have some challenges, right? Defense is going to have to be able to do that. If Oklahoma finds himself in those positions, if we find ourselves with our backs against the wall, whatever the case may be, could be a turnover. Got to be able to help them out. And welcome back in to this Thursday edition of the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store. America's Arch Sport Experts. All right. So we already started diving into a little bit during the break, but we'll space it out. We got plenty of time because we definitely will dive into some of those main keys that I have for this game. Kind of jumped the gun. We had a good question from Sam here on the chat. It's kind of talking about defensively some things in this game, and I'll definitely dive into it. But just kind of like an overall thing to piggyback off what I was saying. Looking at Oklahoma's offense, you got John Mateer, right? He used his legs to make plays. I mean, he's involved in the running game. You'll see that when they do have the ball in their hands. I know it sounds like a broken record when we say, well, Alabama has struggled with, dual threat quarterbacks, right? And it's true, and it's like everybody else, right? I mean, anytime, and I know this is as good as anybody being an edge guy myself, anytime you play a dual threat quarterback, it's tough for any defense. Just add that added element. I mean, you look at what happened when LSU brought in Van Buren, right? I mean, the fact that he could use his legs to extend plays, he also is making some really nice throws as well. But it's tough on a defense. It's an added element. So that's going to be big. Got to be able to stop that. I think Robinson is the guy's name. We've seen more of him from Oklahoma. The running game has been better as of late, but and even their passing game is kind of average since John Mateer got injured coming back from that. Hadn't been what it looked like maybe initially to start the season, or at least he hasn't been there. They do have a receiver who's, I think, top 5 in the conference in reception yards. But what I'm getting at is I think the biggest key defensively is making sure you contain that element of John Mateer. Even if you go back to last year, I know it's a different quarterback. It was Jackson Arnold. But that was one of the huge issues in the game. I know everybody was focused on the turnovers offensively, and rightfully so. I mean, that was probably the biggest issue, without a doubt. But the second thing was defensively, we could not get a stop, especially when it came to quarterback design, run, and extended plays with legs. So going to be similar in this game. I know they're different quarterbacks, a little bit different players, but still that is an element to that offense. That's going to be big. I mentioned the turnovers being a big deal. You look at, our offense, they're going against a really good defense, right? I mean, you're expecting to probably see some stalled drives. You're expecting for us to maybe have some 3 and outs. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're playing a really good defense. You're not just expected to be marching on the field, putting up a bunch of points. Getting turnovers keeps them not only keeps them out of the end zone, but it gives the ball back to the offense. You want them to have as many opportunities as possible. And the last thing defensively I mentioned was red zone defense, which we're really good at, one of the best in the country. And it's huge because if you go back and look at all the games that we've had close games, defense really has been kind of pulling, picking up the slack. And what I mean by that is when we're having challenges scoring or we're sluggish on offense, man, if you go back and you really look at how the game went, right? How everything, ended up playing out. The fact that we're able to hold these teams, especially in the red zone, when we're put in critical situations with our backs against the wall, limiting those points, always is big. I mean, I'd argue it was huge, definitely huge this last game, right? Against LSU, right? Holding them to only 3 field goals, right? I did the little math. I mean, think about it. 3 field goals, if you change it to 3 touchdowns, that's 21 points. We only scored 20, right? That's a different ball game. Missouri, right? We were put in some tough spots. Trying to think of who else. South Carolina for sure. South Carolina, if our defense doesn't get some of those big stops and holding those guys to field goals or getting off the field, different ball game. I see that being very similar in this game as well. So I really kind of laid out most of it for our defense. Now I can dive into some specific matchups and stuff here in a minute, but that's kind of like my overall view for our defense on what we need to do. And I'm really pleased with where we've been at as a defense as of late. Honestly, I mean, I feel like guys are playing more confident as ever. Linebacker play has been, I mean, so much better. And that's going to be big in this game because if you go back and watch last year, I thought our linebackers, their run fits, how they're playing things was a huge issue. And then also up front, guys with quarterback responsibility weren't exceptional either. But I feel like linebacker play in this game last year wasn't great. But as of recent in this season, right? I know we're talking about this year. Hill Green and Justin Jefferson have been phenomenal. And then even Deontay Lawson, man. I mean, he looks so much healthier and more confident right now, and that's going to be big for our guys in this game. And then you look at the front. I mean, there's so many new guys that are making an impact. London Simmons. Now we're seeing Keon Keeley come along. I mean, that's huge, right, for our defense, especially going against a team like Oklahoma with the things that we just described. So kind of like overall picture for us defensively. Now we need to hit a timeout to stay on schedule. We got some interviews we got to play. Definitely got to talk about our offense and their defense. So I'm sorry, guys. We're going to talk about their defense, Oklahoma's defense a little bit here in a minute, but we got to. That's one of the biggest things in this game to pay attention to. And I know some of you guys are already talking about, whoa, look what Tennessee did. Look what Ole Miss did. Well, maybe we'll do just that. Maybe we'll pull up some tape and look and see what those guys did to have success. We'll talk about that here in a minute after this quick timeout right here on the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Be right back. Let's see. Yeah, it's Robertson. Thank you. Robinsons. Thank you, guys. I got to get better with other teams' names. I ain't going to lie. I normally just look at numbers, man. You live in Oklahoma and all they're talking about is the defense. I mean, to be fair, I mean, that's what they got going for them right now, man. Might be annoying to talk about, but they're just a really good unit, man. Really good unit. Now, that doesn't mean they're like invincible. And I'll talk about that. I know somebody mentioned the secondary. There definitely will be some opportunities for sure. And we'll talk about that too. Appreciate all you guys reminding folks to hit that like button, man. Thank y'all. Appreciate that. Dang, I forgot before the man. We'll just go we'll go Madcox. We'll go Madcox. The usernames, man, they're still throwing me off. But appreciate it, man. Oklahoma's defense reminds me of South Carolina. Really good front seven, not as good on the back end. To be fair, though, those DBs for South Carolina, man, they might not have been like – they had a couple guys that have definitely, some solid reputations, but shoot, that secondary for South Carolina played really good in that game. I'm not going to lie. It honestly was one of the better secondary performances we've seen, honestly. But I know what you're saying, though. Like front seven heavy for sure. But South Carolina's defense, man, at least in that game, what was the guy's number? Their punt returner. He's a cornerback. I mean, he played well. The safeties played well. They did good. Coach Cochran's assembling a group of Avengers. He ever contact you about it? Man, I'll be honest, Sam. I'm not trying to get into coaching right now. I'm sure if I wanted to kind of get into something, he'd probably have no problem finding some room or some type of position. But and it would probably be fun as hell. I mean, a lot of my teammates are over there, and I know they enjoy it. But I'm kind of focused on like the media side of things because the flexibility that it gives me. You know what I mean? Like I can just come on here. I do a 2-hour radio show. I do some broadcast stuff on the weekends, and outside of that, man, I can put my attention on pretty much whatever else I want to do. I mean, I invest a lot. So I mean, I'm always looking at, new investment stuff like that, real estate stuff. So this kind of just allows me to be able to have that flexibility. But in the future, we'll see, man. Oklahoma's front seven are studs. Their O-line has to give Ty some time. They can do that. Ty will carve them up. Yeah, we definitely got to be able to do that. And look, and we've been protecting actually really good. I know we've had some moments, and again, you go back like Missouri. That was a game where we gave us some sacks. I think Georgia we did really good. Vanderbilt, I think we gave up maybe 4. There's been some moments, but for the most part, man, protection has actually been pretty solid. And again, a lot of credit to the offensive line, but you also have to take into consideration that Ryan Grubb has been doing a lot of things to help his guys as well. Those chips, man, I'm telling you, even just that presence there makes a world's difference. Like literally. And that was something we didn't see a whole bunch of the last couple of years for whatever reason. I don't know why it took forever for us to just finally start, putting some tight ends over there. And even like pre-snap stuff. Like, I don't even know if you guys caught wind of this, but like Ty does such a good job pre-snap of like getting the protection set and putting the back on the, changing the side of the back and stuff like that, just to make sure that they have the right numbers and the right protection. That all goes into the equation. What I'm getting at is we've been pretty solid keeping him clean, and we got to continue to do that for sure. Because when he's not clean, that's when you start seeing those issues pop up.
Edge on Tide 100.9.
When I say issues, I mean like accuracy and stuff like that. And welcome back into this Thursday edition of Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. How about this, Chase? I know we didn't get any player interviews, and there's a whole boatload of them. We didn't even hear from the coordinators, man. I won't do those because those are a little bit further back, and we might have to try to cut those up a little bit or clip those. But I know we got Ty Simpson. I kind of want to hear from one of the guys, and then pick back up on kind of our analysis. We got plenty of time. So let's do that. Let's hear from Ty from the other day, and I'll skip through like anything that's talking about the LSU game. We can move forward from that. I just want to hear more so about Oklahoma. So let's do that. Let's jump over to a press conference from the other day that we haven't hit just yet. But this is Ty Simpson speaking to the media after practice on Tuesday.
It's cold, but that's what November football is about, right?
Communication has to be a lead speaker. No one on this front. What role do you play in that with the offensive communication?
One, just making sure everybody's on the same page, whether it's play calls, checks, etc. And just making sure, right, that we communicate from, every standpoint of whether it's a shift, motion, everything else in general, right? Just making sure Parker's good and everybody up front is good as well.
Ty, Arch Manning, I think, mentioned sometimes you guys have exchanged tips before about facing certain teams. What kind of things are you guys sharing, or what are those conversations like?
Archie's got a loud mouth, huh? No, that's my guy, right? Like, we talk weekly, just, not just about ball, but just like how each other doing. He's a really good friend of mine. But yeah, I know he played. Who did Texas play before us? They played somebody, and we had talked before. And then of course, right, the Red River rivalry, and it was a good game. So I asked him a couple questions, and he asked me a couple questions about Vanderbilt and about Georgia, right? Just kind of quarterback, etiquette, and just talking to one another, just about like, hey, what did you see? What did they do here? And just about plays and fronts in general, right? Just, stuff that we talk about, not just as friends, but, quarterbacks as well. So
Oklahoma only gives up 14 points a game. When you've looked at film of what they do defensively, what to you looks like they do so well?
Everything. That's why they only give up 14 points a game, if we're being honest, right? I mean, this is by far like the most, well coached, just disruptive defense that we've seen. Just how physical they are up front, how fast they are, how confusing they are in the back end, right? It goes all the way. Credit Coach Venables and Coach Bates all the way back to Clemson, right? With those teams, and even when Bama was playing them in the championship, they do everything well. So we got to be very disciplined in our calls, our reads, our motions, everything, because we just need to make sure that everybody's on the same page and be as disciplined as we can.
Ty, there's a old coach's cliche that the horizontal passing game can be an extension of the run game. Is that something that you've always heard, or kind of take us through that?
Yeah, certainly, right. I agree. Getting the ball out in space and just quick throws, right, can open up a lot more space, right? Just because it gives the defense another thing to worry about. But I certainly think, right, that anytime that you get the ball out in space to skilled players and really good players helps everything. Helps our, pass game, helps our screen game, helps our run game. So, anything like that can, help everything.
Ty,
when your relationship with Arch began, Manning Passing Academy, or was it before that?
No, me and Arch have been friends for a very long time. I think we had to be in middle school. We worked out together a couple of times, right? And of course, we had a ton of respect for each other, just because of us being one of the best quarterbacks, and how similar we are, right? We just love ball, and so we'll hang out outside of football. He's a nut. I could tell y'all some stories, and he could tell you some stories about me. But that's my guy. Ton of respect to him and his family, and his brother. He's a really good friend to have.
What's your favorite Arch Manning story?
This is what the perfect gift for a man looks like.
So my wife got me this weird new kitchen.
I can't tell you that on camera. There's a lot. I just when he came here, it was fun. It was like a movie, coming here and seeing him as a recruit, and then being at the Manning Passing Academy, right, where he's kind of from. So yeah, we can't talk about it.
When you here at all, do you have a relationship with him?
Yeah, I know John. He was at the Manning Passing Academy as well, right? I didn't know him until then. Of course, I knew he was a baller at Washington State, right, in Oklahoma. Being there, and then my little brother, right, who's getting recruited by Oklahoma as well, and Coach Arbuckle, talked very highly of John. So we got to become friends at the Manning Passing Academy. He, is a baller. He spun it great. He's just very athletic, right? Just a great quarterback and carries that offense. So, ton of respect to John and what he does. And, not only that, but he's a really good person as well. As a guy who I really enjoy hanging around.
What was your perspective from last year's Oklahoma and watching on the sidelines? And what do you see maybe a carryover defensively from them last year?
Yeah, just how disruptive they are, right? They brought, all types of stuff, right? Stuff that we hadn't seen coming off a bye, and that's what we expect, this week as well. It just kind of hey, something bad is going to happen in this game, right? Just because it's a really good team, they're really good defense, really, really good coaches, right? So, we just need to understand that we need to keep going, right? Need to be resilient, strong, have 1-0 mentality like we have done all year, and just understand that we got to honor the game. Right, we compete because of how fun it is, right? Because the game is hard, and so that's what we need to understand going into this game.
When you're facing an elite defense like this, how do you view that opportunity?
It's kind of why we play football, right? It's why I came here, why I stayed here. Games where no other place in the country gets to play as many primetime games and against ranked opponents as we do, right? Each week is a new opportunity, a new challenge, and that's the beauty of it, right? Just being able to play a guy who across the ball is a future, first round pick or something like that, right? Or a coordinator who's known for being disruptive and stuff, just prepares you for the future, and it prepares you, to be the best person you can be, right? So, the fun's in the process, and being able to look at what you did from last game, and then being able to just get better, right, and do it all over again. And then, you enjoy playing and the competition. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
When y'all ran the double pass against LSU, Jeremy throwing to Brooks, you ran down the middle of the field with your hand up. Did you really think you were open, or was that more window dressing?
A little bit of both. Yeah, he could have thrown it. He just chose not to.
When you go against the front as disruptive as Oklahoma's is, what does it demand of you as a quarterback?
I got to be very disciplined in my reads, very conscientious of how fast and quick they are, and the twists and turns, and I got to know where my outlets are every down.
Do you guys feel tested?
Yeah, we feel tested every week. Every week in the SEC is like a different test, right? Like a different opportunity, and we kind of tell ourselves, right, like. LSU last week, right? Like they had nothing to lose. South Carolina the week before that, right? Like, everybody thinks that we're looking forward to the bye week. Like this week, right? It's a playoff type game. Just every week, right? We look for a new thing that people doubt us about, and not only is it true, but it's it helps us because it just gives us fire and it makes us understand like this is what's at stake.
What do you think needs to happen for y'all to be able to have more success with
that? Like I said last game, right? It's a mental thing. Just understand that we can do it and we have done it before. And then two, right? It just having confidence in being able to understand like we got this game, we got the players, and just believing in ourselves and doing it. Like that's all it is. And some technique issues, but we're going to be running the ball. Like we'll be just fine. So I believe in our coaches, believe in our O-line, and believe in our running backs. Like we're going to have no problem, running the ball.
What are those conversations like?
I was going to say, does that same logic apply to the deep passing game and getting that going in terms of just between the ears more than anything else?
Right. Like I take credit for it because. Sometimes I try to throw the most perfect ball instead of just putting it on him, or even just right, like how we attack things, right? It's just kind of part of it. So it's all a psychological warfare when it comes to that stuff. Like we hit a bunch of deep balls just fine. We need to work on it, right? Like we talked about one-on-ones, after the South Carolina game, right? And I think we hit how many? Last game 3 or 4, right? Like it's just building off the South Carolina game and stuff that we worked on in practice. So this week, right? What do you think we're going to work on? One-on-one balls. Just kind of part of it. Understand what our weaknesses is, and our we do self scout and keep going.
Could something like touch get in your head, or are you thinking about that at all when you're throwing in game?
There you go. No, we don't. I don't think about that at all, right? I just think about completing the ball. I think a little bit of it is right of like trying to, like I said, throw the most perfect ball instead of just making sure the ball gets caught, right? And I think that happens a lot. And I also think right, like just being able to react and not just think this is going to happen, So I'm not worried about it.
Ty, when Coach Borkanis seems like the guy who looks forward, he kind of preaches what's next as opposed to looking back. Did it surprise you when he was like, "I want you to remember what happened in Norman last year"? To those who experienced it, did that surprise you at all?
No, right? Because we did the same thing with Vanderbilt. We understand like how bad Norman in that game hurt us last year, right? Like not only did it affect what our future was, but it affected us as a team. And I think everybody who was on the team last year, and coaches as well knows what happened in practice that week, and how we viewed how we were complaining, or whatever you want to call it, right? And we were going to make sure that like, hey, this is the same scenario, same position that we were in a year ago. Like, are we going to go the same route, or are we going to make sure that like it doesn't happen again? And so it starts on Tuesday, right? When we go out here, it's 24 degrees when we wake up in the morning, right? Like we're gonna instead of working out, we're practicing inside. Like we're gonna go outside. Like we're gonna go short sleeves and make sure that like we're ready to practice when we're gonna go as hard as we can. So
there you have it. That was Ty Simpson speaking to the media. Gave a lot of insight on where they're at as a team going into this Oklahoma game. A lot of good stuff that we can talk about when we come back. But first, we got to hit a timeout. Plus, we got the passer Payne on here. We'll pick his brain, get his thoughts on this matchup as well. When we come back after a quick timeout right here on the Miller's Edge, Top 100.9, 1230 WTBC.
We believe that the
Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Wait, that's weird. That's weird. Strong echo. I might have to have him join again. Chase, did you hear that echo on of everything I just said? Or is that on my end? That was weird. Let me know, Chase, because I might need to check. Bro, that is the weirdest thing. I'm literally like hearing myself directly. So y'all hear that too. Hold on, let me take him down real quick. All right, hold on, let me see. Well, yeah, wait, hold on. Of course, it has to be on his end because it's when I unmute his mic. Try to leave and rejoin because something's going on. That's weird. Yeah, now it's gone when I take him off. Yeah, that's weird. It's almost like it's sending me the. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go hot routes galore. Check downs are okay. Yeah, you gotta be ready to get the ball out hot the way they like the pressure. I'm watching the Ole Miss game right now. And I was going to say that's one thing I did notice. I mean, because I watched this game live. I remember Ole Miss definitely a lot of quick game, a lot of screen game. I mean, they did get in some true drop backs and try to stretch it downfield as well. But and part of it too might have been the weather because it was like raining or it was wet. Let's try this one more time. Check. Nope. Try to leave and then come back because something's going on where it's literally like I don't even know how to explain it, man. It's like literally repeating everything I say. It sounds as if I'm like on a channel only with myself. It's really weird. I don't even know if he can hear me. In the meantime, let's see. Too far from the Wi-Fi again. Yeah, it's like feedback. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I know best word to use there. Yeah, well, he's in the car, so I don't even. I mean, truck might have some Wi-Fi. Who knows, man? Oh yeah, that's right. Bama basketball versus Purdue. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. All right, now he left. We'll see if he comes back. We'll see if he comes back. All right, here we go. Let's see. All right, now it's working.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Mute him for a second. And welcome back into this Thursday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Presented by the Good Feet Store, America's art sport experts. We just heard from Ty Simpson, and that was his press conference from Tuesday. But we hadn't listened to anybody, really. And I wanted to circle back in here because I know he talked a good bit about Oklahoma, that defense, what they're expecting. And there's a number of things that he hit on that we've talked about here. And one of those things that really stood out is that when you look at this Oklahoma defense, here we go, guys. We're going to talk about them. Look, they do pretty much everything really well. They stop the run. They're physical. They fly around. They get after the quarterback. But there's two things he talked about. And one of those was what I mentioned, I think 2 days ago now, is their ability on the back end to really disguise stuff. They're one of the better teams when it comes to that, showing you different looks. Their third down packages, I mean, they run a lot of exotic pressures. They make things look like one thing, they get to another. So this is probably going to be one of the biggest challenges, I think, for our offense in terms of even just that. Like, not only are you going to be worried about the pressure and staying clean up front, like we all know that, but I don't think many people have been talking about just how good of a job they do on the back end, right? And you talk about us really wanting to throw the football and move the football down the field like that. It's going to be big that we're able to, or Ty, I should say, is able to manage that, which I have confidence that he will. He hadn't really had an issue like that this year, but to me, I think that would be something that could cause some problems. If for whatever reason they do start throwing some stuff at him that kind of confuse him a little bit, has him a step behind, like those are the types of things that can really disrupt a quarterback, right? You talk about like the NFL. I mean, you see it all the time in the NFL. Defenses are not just cut and dry. There's no, they're just playing quarters. I mean, there's quarters, but there's different looks. They're disguising. And that's why you see a lot of young quarterbacks when they get to the NFL, a lot of turnovers, things like that, because it happens quick and they're throwing a lot at you. Now, I'm not saying Oklahoma's like at that level, but I'm just saying I think they're probably one of the better teams that we've faced when it comes to doing that stuff. So I'm curious to see if that does, in fact, show up in this game, because I have seen it on tape just watching them with the things that they like to do. We got the pastor of Payne on here, and I'm definitely going to get his thoughts here in a minute on this whole matchup. But first, let's just welcome him in. Looks like he's on the road. How's everything? Where are you headed now?
Greetings, everybody. I am headed to the Sunshine State of Florida and the home state of Pitbull. And, all those other rappers down in South Florida. Now I'm headed down to Kissimmee, Florida, which is right up, which is Orlando. And going to preach there Saturday and Sunday at a church. And so, big turnout Saturday. This is a men's ministry event on Saturday, and then on Sunday I got to preach 4 services, which I've never done in a row. That's a lot, so y'all be praying for a brother, because that's a lot. Let me get my things right.
So do you just is it kind of rinse repeat, or is it, just something different?
No. Well, the sermon would be different. The sermon would be the same. It'll be the same concept, but here's the thing. I'm a preacher. I'm like an evangelist preacher. That's my style. I preach hard. I preach, anointing. And I'm not a reader. I'm not a guy that sit there and read a whole sermon. People are like, have you wrote your sermon yet? I'm like, I don't write sermons. I have bullet points to preach, and the sermon's in my heart. But when you preach into that level, 4 sermons could be hard because you exert so much energy and spirit. But God's got you. He'll get me through it. And one of them is you need to be with me. One of them is a Spanish service. I don't know how that's going to go. I got to wait on the interpreter. So we'll see how that rolls. So I'll be preaching. I guess he's going to have to keep up. So what happens if I start speaking in tongues, and then what does the Spanish interpreter do?
There would be no way to really translate that. So I'll be honest with you. I think they probably just leave that part blank, but I don't know. I listen, I probably could translate for you. I'm trying to think about some like church or preaching vocabulary that I might have to study, but yeah.
So if I said, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth, what would you say?
Al principio, Dios creó al cielo y la tierra. Pretty much how you say that. See, that's what I'm saying. That's all conversational stuff. I'm good, but if you start breaking out like the way things are worded, like in the Bible and stuff, yeah, brother, I don't speak that Spanish. Not yet. I speak conversational Spanish.
Well, it's a gift. It's a gift to translate the tongues.
Yeah,
there are people that are gifted to be able to translate that. but it's not like what you're thinking about.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. What I do know is we need to hit this top hour break, but when we come back, I do want to get your thoughts because we've been talking a lot about this game. We had a former Oklahoma running back join us yesterday. He broke it down really nicely. Rodney Anderson, he's my age. He works for their collective now, but we have the same financial advisor and got connected like that. But it was really good stuff. But I'm curious your thoughts on this matchup. I've been talking a lot about their defense. Some people are sick of it, but I mean, that's kind of the story of this game, and we'll talk about why that is with you when we come back after this quick timeout. You're listening to the Miller's Edge, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. Be right back.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Time.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe I'll listen to one of your services or your sermons.
Yeah, it'll be online.
Translate in my head. Yeah, because Superfly asked, he said, y'all live stream the services anywhere we can watch. You can watch his stuff, I think, on YouTube, but this church that he's talking about, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll post their link. So it's I think it's Green Lawn Church, big church.
What's the name of it? I think you said what? Green Lawn?
No, I'm sorry.
Wait, you're kind of cutting in and out. Wait, why is it doing that?
Yeah, I got that. I'm on Wi-Fi in the car.
No, you're good. Yeah, sorry, it might have been on here. Anyway, what's the name of the church you said?
Greenway Church, Kissimmee or Kissimmee. I don't know how you say that. Kissimmee, Florida.
I think that's where Ricky's from. I think
Orlando.
We need to have a pep talk of Ricky, man.
What's wrong with Ricky?
Man, bro. I don't know. I'm losing hope in Ricky and Tia, some of our faithfuls, man.
What happened to Tia?
They listen. They don't want to listen. They don't want to listen. They don't. They hard-headed, man.
Scholar opinions.
Nah. It's just jokes, but it's I was talking about that whole green mouthpiece thing with Bo or whatever, and I was trying to explain that. To be fair, because long story short, it came back up from a podcast, and I was trying to explain, like, Ruben did the same thing, like cussed us out, went at us sideways, and we all were just like, you know what? He's right. We got to lock in. We got to do this, whatever. And we ended up, that was 2017. We won the national championship that year. And I was just saying, their response to when Bo did it was completely different. They literally were like, all right, he said, you know, you shouldn't have green mouthpieces, so hell, we're all gonna get green mouthpieces. And allegedly it was Bryce that kind of led that whole thing. Long story short, I was trying to explain at the end of the day, it wasn't about the mouthpieces, it was about the message, right? And it was about the standard and you know, just being bought in. I'm talking about they try to give me Bo went at them sideways. I'm like, Ruben did the same thing. Again, I'm not saying it's right, wrong, whatever. I'm just saying. Then it was like, but he's making a big deal over mouthpiece. I'm like, no, bro, it's the message, it's the standard.
0.9.
And then he's like, well, that's not B-Sci-Fi. I'm like, brother, how are you speaking on B-Sci-Fi?
What's B-Sci-Fi?
Our football fraternity. You got fans talking about what should and should not be.
Get out of here.
And welcome back in to this Thursday edition of the Miller's Edge, tied 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's art sport experts. All right, we just got done listening to Ty Simpson from his, I guess, what do you call it? Not press conference, media availability on Tuesday. Talked about that Oklahoma defense, which we're probably going to talk a little bit more about, and their offense as well. Now that we're joined by the pastor of Payne, and I'm sure he's wait, you guys, did they play South Carolina? I can't remember if Oklahoma played South Carolina.
Yeah, I was at that game.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think they
Yeah.
did. So you got an up close and personal look.
Yeah.
Give me
on the
your
sidelines.
perfect. Well, give me your overall analysis of this Oklahoma team. I'll just briefly I'll lay it out like this. Really good defense for me. Great front seven. Brent Venables does a whole hell of a lot of things to mess with you, right? Pre and post snap, exotic blitz is going to be tough. And then we know on the other side, kind of about a middle of the pack offense. John Mateer isn't as, I guess, polished as he was before the injury. Running game is getting a little bit better, but still a little inconsistent. And then, John Mateer will be involved at times with his legs as well. And I think that'll be big for our defense to be able to stop there and get big red zone stops like we've been doing. But tell me your overall analysis of this Oklahoma football team.
First of all, a couple things. Ty Simpson, you know how I hit you up and say, Christian, you say him right all the time. So can somebody please call over there to the office sports information and please, he says right like a gazillion times, like it's annoying. Like he's a great speaker, but everything's right. And then when he does his halftime or after the game, right, with that gum, right. So Ty, I love you, bro, but cut down on the rights. Try left.
It's a coaching thing. That's what you don't understand. Like
no, it's too much. It's overkill. It's overkill.
That's how a lot of cocoaches talk. Have you not listened to
Nick Saban said I.
He said I, but but I feel like Kane Womack uses right a lot, but for me it was Jeremy Pruitt always said, I don't know. Why are you should you not? You should be judging people.
I'm not judging. I'm listening to him. I've heard on the TV. It's like when you are in this business for so long, like I have been TV, like they would tell you, stop saying right so much. I mean, it's just kind of like I know it's a transfer from sentences, but it's like it's overkill. He says right. Just anyway, and let's get back to Oklahoma.
Did you tell Nick Saban that about I mean, like you ain't complain about that.
Yeah, but he didn't say it even. He wasn't even near what Ty Simpson's doing. He'll just do it every minute and be like, like with his hands, But listen, Oklahoma is a formidable opponent for Alabama. There's no doubt about this. This might be the toughest matchup. And when I look at this Oklahoma team, I kind of look at it, the matchup like that we saw with South Carolina. Defensively, they got a very active defensive front. I think they're going to have one of the better, maybe besides Texas A&M, better defensive fronts in the SEC that's going to get at you. Brent Venables brings his sharp pencil. He's going to give you so many different fronts. They're going to slide fronts. They're going to put under, over. They're going to zone dog you. They're going to blitz you. They're going to bring people from all over. Their job, and this is Brent Venables. Go back and watch Clemson back in the day when they played Alabama. I mean, the defense hadn't changed. I mean, they bring guys. He want athletic linebackers. He want guys that can blitz. He's got guys that can cover that linebacker, can rush, can play the run. So they're going to present a major problem against Alabama. One, Alabama cannot run the football. They can't. I mean, they try to. They don't always just go away from it, but they're not good at it. And the problem's going to be if they can't run the football and they get into third and longs, they're going to have a nightmare offensively because they are going to be in big trouble. And this is where Brent Venables is going to draw up these exotic blitzes, exotic pressures, and he's going to come at you. I saw them up close and personal. They're athletic up front. Their defensive linemen, extremely big and athletic. Their linebackers are runners. They're run and hit guys. Secondary, they got good cover guys back there. And so what's been the problem for Alabama's offense? Blocking speed. Blowing offensive blocking packages when pressure is coming. This has been a problem. Now they have overcome it for the most part, except Florida State. But they have had a major issue. And I promise you, Brent Venables is going to go back and going to look at South Carolina. And South Carolina didn't do any exotic stuff. South Carolina just, they were just, with those edge guys, much better than Alabama tackles. And that is the weakness of this offense, is the offensive line. Better inside, struggle on the perimeter. So I think this is going to be a major problem, and they got to find a way. This is where Ryan Grubb is going to have to get creative. If they can't run the football, then they're going to use motion. They're going to bring Jeremy Bernard. They're going to use those wide receivers, 17. I think his name is Brooks. They're going to use those guys and swing routes, put them in the backfield. Those going to kind of be like running plays. And the key there is just to get the change moving, second and medium, second and 5. If it's third down, third, 2 or 3, that way they could be a run/pass. So they're not predictable. They're not becoming one-dimensional. So Alabama is a really good team. Oklahoma is a really good team. Now on the flip side of that, what does Alabama's defense do against Mateer? They're going to want to run the ball. Where does Alabama struggle? Athletic, mobile quarterbacks. Well, that's what Mateer is. He can run. We talk about the injury, his hand, and all that good stuff, but he can run the football, and he could be that extra weapon that you got to pay attention to. Oklahoma's not going to beat you throwing 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's not their game. They're going to run the ball. They're going to try to keep you off balance. They're going to run inside zones. They're going to run outside zones. They'll do a little trickeration here, there as well to keep you off balance. This is going to be a very intense matchup. I'm excited about this game, and I heard Tyson talk about last year, and he didn't play in that game, but they got ran out in the building just because they couldn't stop the run. When they run for 245, 250 against Alabama's defense last year, embarrassing. You don't think they're looking at this film and they're going to say, is this team better at stopping the run? Maybe. But they're going to get tested there. So it's going to be a chess match, I think. You look at an offense in Alabama that's probably the highest scoring offense, I think, in the SEC, or one of the top 2 or 3 best offense in the conference, versus one of the best defenses. Something's going to have to break. Something's going to have to give. So if you're Alabama, the big advantage is you're home. You have momentum going for you. You lost to them last year, so you got that get-back spirit right now. You got that get-back in your locker room. That's a good thing, and I think that's going to help them overcome in the end. But I'm going to tell you, this is going to be a dogfight, a full-quarter game because of the matchup. Anytime Alabama plays a great defensive front, they have trouble offensively. That offense don't look smooth. It didn't look good against South Carolina for 3 quarters and a half, pretty much. That South Carolina stifled them. Right, so this is what I'm saying right now. So this is what is going to happen on Saturday. I do believe that it's going to be one of those types of games. They're going to have to grind out some points. Oklahoma's not going to give up big plays, chunk yardage. That's not who they are. Brent Venables is excellent when it comes to defense. He really is. So Alabama has seen this before in years past. So he's been one of the best areas in the country. So we'll see if Ty Simpson and his offense can get things going out. If they're able to be able to run the ball a little bit, that helps them to become not one-dimensional. But I'm really looking forward to see if they can, because it's up to this point, even with Jam Miller back there and number 4, I'm trying to blank of his name right now.
Daniel Hill.
I like very much. He's a thumper. He's a great football player. They just don't have it up front. As big as Alabama is, that's massive. I was on there talking to Chap, and Jeff Allen on the field, and the lineman came in. I looked at, besides the center, Roberts, they look scary. Proctor, he ain't even fat. This big, massive, look like Tarzan dudes. I'm talking about huge. But man, I watched them out there. I'm like, they play patty cake, bro. To be that massive, they're not that physical. I'm being honest. I'm watching it up close and personal. I see them getting destroyed, and especially not. I know our edge guys were good, but our tackles who have just been okay was destroying them on the inside. And Oklahoma has a better front, especially interior, than South Carolina. So we're going to see. They're going to have to really attack. I think they attack the outside, the flanks of the defense, try to get things going. When you got one back, you're very simple. And that's why I don't like this offense when it comes to running the football. When you got one back, you become very one-dimensional as far as what you can do. And if you don't have a running quarterback, yes, Ty Simpson is athletic, but he's not known as a runner. He ain't trying to run the football. So now you're really, really basic in your run game. And this is not the Alabama offensive line of old that could mano-a-mano, toe-to-toe, line up, punch dudes in the chest, and hip drive them 3 or 4 yards, and they're not playing on the offensive side of the line of scrimmage. This is not the offensive line. So when you got this type of offense as far as the running game is concerned, it don't work. You know, unless you got a Barry Sanders that can just make people miss and find creases. Jam Miller's not that. Daniel Hill is not that. That's why I think you see struggles with this running game.
Yeah, no, I understand. And we'll talk a little bit more about that because we after the show yesterday, we went back and watched Vanderbilt, arguably our best rushing performance of the year. And you saw physicality. You saw guys driving players off the ball. You saw successful double teams and combos, you know, climbing to the second level. You saw holes opening up and guys hitting those holes. It just seems like we haven't been able to recreate that. And I feel like since Jam came back from the concussion, he's been a lot more patient with some of that stuff. And I'm at the point where I'm with you. I mean, I feel like, you know, if we're not going to be able to effectively run the ball and doing all these different things, simplify, just go zone duo and let Daniel Hill just run downhill and fall forward for 2, 3, 4 yards and kind of just keep chopping at the bit like that until something opens up. Maybe I don't know, but we'll talk a little bit more about it in a second. Plus, I got the tape pulled up, got some stuff we can take a look at that this Oklahoma defense does. So if you guys want to check that out, join us on the stream at the Miller's Edge. But first, we got to hit a timeout. When we come back, we keep on rolling right here. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC.
Blast your taste buds with.
How can you be that big and not physical? I mean, there's a lot of tall guys that aren't good at basketball. I don't know, man. I mean, listen, there's times where you see it, but I get what he's saying. I mean, not consistently. Like to me, like Wilkin, he's a big guy. He's not a very physical offensive tackle.
No.
Like to me, physical, like Tyler Booker.
Wilkin need to go to play for South Alabama, somewhere like that.
Oh, no, come on, easy, come on, man.
Sadly, not that good.
J.C. Latham, physical. Booker, physical. You know, Proctor at times in the run game can be physical, but he didn't play great against South Carolina.
He got his lunch eat.
But see, like this, like stuff like this that Oklahoma does, man. Like watch how they have this edge guy pop out right in that slant window, man. You know what I mean? Like they're bringing pressure. I think it's 3rd and 10, but this is what I'm saying. I feel like we haven't seen some of these little nuances so much. I just wonder if some of that disguising / like different little looks and late pops and stuff like that could end up being so. But we don't even run. I don't know why we don't run like quick RPO slant game stuff like that. I feel like we don't run much of that. Even like shallow drag. I feel like we don't really do a whole bunch of that. I don't know why.
I mean, if they ran, Ty a little bit more. I mean, just to keep people honest, because he is athletic and can run.
Oh, it'd be huge.
If they could implement some RPO system of just maybe like a little package with him in there, could open up some things, them quick slants, man. With Brooks and some of these other, Jeremy Bernard, they could get between and get some things going, but they are just terrible at running the football. I mean, and it's not Alabama. That's Alabama's standard was built on running the football. And when you say Alabama can't run the football, it's like, this is Alabama. It's what they do. They bust people in the mouth. No, not this group. They West Coast. They fish tacos. I've been telling you. They fish tacos. They ain't cornbread and collard greens.
I'm trying to. I mean, yeah. I don't know. Hey, I'll say this though. I mean, I want to give them credit where credit's due. They've actually done a nice job in pass pro. They've actually done a pretty nice job keeping Ty clean, even with facing
South Carolina
pressure. That game they gave a little more pressure, but I mean, you go back even watch LSU, and LSU was very blitz heavy. They were very aggressive, and for the most part, Ty was kept pretty damn clean. And if anything, if you look at it, some of that pressure actually comes from some missed assignments by the backs and pass pro.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll have to see. The good news is, and this is why I said this about our defense earlier, the fact that our defense has been playing so well, especially in those critical moments, red zone situations, holding people out of the end zone. I mean, that's huge, especially in a game like this when you're expecting your offense to have some troubles. You got to be able to do that.
If I'm Alabama, I don't even mind dropping this game and going 10-2. And even if I miss the SEC championship, because now they got a chance to probably get a home game in the playoffs.
Well, if you win this game,
if they win out and win the SEC, they're gonna get a bye, and they still might get a home game. I don't know how that.
Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into this Thursday edition of Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230. WTBC presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Art Support Expert. Just kind of rolling through some of this tape here. Ole Miss, Oklahoma. And I watched this game live, but going back and watching it, just kind of getting a little bit more of an idea on some of the things that they do. And you'll see a lot. Again, those third down packages that they run, man. They'll bring heat. They'll drop guys. They'll pop them out. They'll show them and drop them late. And I think that's going to be interesting, man. Again, because we've been really successful, especially moving the football down the field, really clutch. Now I know we've had some drops or just missed guys, but in terms of like scheming guys open, that is one thing that we do really well. We can attack the middle of the field, hit those hole shots. That has been very successful for us. But going against this defense with all the different things that they do, you heard Ty talk about it, man. I mean, they do a lot of stuff on the back end too. Not many people talk about that aspect. They just kind of focus on the front. But on the back end, they throw a number of different things at you. Will be a tough task for our offense. Flipping on the other side of the ball, I know you mentioned a little bit about Mateer, but with the way Alabama's defense has been playing, which has been really solid, man. I said this, tweeted it after the LSU game. I said, I think it's time for people to start recognizing Kane Womack and the job that he's done, especially late, given that, look, he was susceptible to some criticism, especially early on in the year. Week 1, very poor performance defensively. Hear me out. Listen. Hear me out. Listen. Couple, performances after that. Good performances, but leaky with the run defense. Too many explosives given up. But they kept getting better and better and better. Pass rush was an issue. We talked about that preseason, early season. But if you look at it now, we said they need that closer. We need that game changer. Yanze Pierre has put himself in that role as that guy. And we've seen it paying dividends for Alabama. Now, we still don't have the best numbers in pass rush or anything like that. But again, I don't worry so much about that. I worry about what my eyes see. And when I see a guy like Yanze go out there and basically call game against LSU, strip sack, that's what we need. And that was one of the missing elements that we had. When I see young guys coming along, Keon Keeley getting some opportunities now, making the most of it, kind of reminds me like when I was younger and finally getting some opportunities. I made sure I made the most of them. He's doing just that. And I'm really, really happy for him because he's been busting his ass behind the scenes. And even linebacker play, man. Linebacker play, we talked about it, was not great early on in the year. It wasn't. I mean, and we even said, hate to call a guy out, but Deontay Lawson wasn't playing his best ball, right? And he probably still was feeling the effects of, coming off that injury. But you look at as of recent, man, with 41 Hill Green, the way he's playing, Justin Jefferson flying around, heat-seeking missile, then Deontay Lawson looks so much better, more comfortable, man. Like, I personally feel like it's time to acknowledge Kane Womack and the defensive staff and those players and what they've been doing. Sounds like you don't. I don't know if you're shaking your head. It sounds like you gave me a little pushback initially. Why do you still have pushback? Is it? Listen, let me ask you this though. Is it because you're not really looking at everything they're doing, and you're still kind of just focusing a little bit too much on some of the negatives. Because I said this on the post game show I do with Gray Robertson on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. I feel like, and not as much last week or two, but even before that, if you really think about it, defense, like even when they were getting a lot of criticism, they were still doing a lot of good stuff. They were holding teams to low points. They were coming up big in critical moments, but there would be those small moments in the game where they get a little leaky, they give up some explosives, and I felt like everybody's attention was so focused on that part that a lot of people were overlooking the positive, almost like, hey man, 75% of the stuff they're doing is actually really good. They're forcing turnovers, they're getting big stops, they're getting off the field. And then you got the little 20-25% here and there where they give up a big play. But I feel like that 20-25% has been shrinking more and more to the point where, bro, they've kind of saved us. I mean, in South Carolina, it was the defense that pretty much won. I know offense won it at the end, but you get what I'm saying. Defense and their performance.
That was Lenore Sellers.
No, Lenore Sellers definitely, like, listen, we shared the ball, but what I'm saying is, we were put in tough spots and they held strong and they got stops. LSU got put in some tough spots, right? Held strong and they only had 3 field goals. You're still not ready to come around to it, man? Why? Tell me why.
Hold on. Okay.
Listen, I'm not.
I
I'm not
ain't got no Kool-Aid with me today, but I'm traveling almost 7 hours. Got to make sure I stay hydrated. But this right here is called Mio, M-I-O. Can y'all see this? Right. This you just put this in the water. Right. It's a plain. I got Starbucks. I got my water jug here. Right. I got my jug here full of ice water. Starbucks got some of the best filtrated water, by the way. I put this in to give it some. It's like Kool-Aid. It's like Kool-Aid, what I'm trying to tell you. And Christian he got a cup full of it right there in Tuscaloosa.
No, this is
because
a very
here's the
healthy,
thing.
very smoothie that I made this morning.
Okay, well, whatever.
Proceed.
But the thing is, okay, if you want to say the defense got better based on what you saw with your eyes, okay, give me that. The reality is they haven't played anybody with an offense that makes you go, They haven't played anybody that with an offense. Vanderbilt, if you want to get that one, that's probably the best one they played.
Tennessee was the top offense coming into that game.
Man, Tennessee offense has been mud. I mean,
I know, I got you, but I'm just saying,
come on now.
Statistically, they were the top offense.
They ain't played nobody offensively that's going to threaten them. They haven't, and they got the benefit this year. Oklahoma even, they don't have an offense like that. That's juggernaut, right? Auburn, there I go right again. Auburn doesn't have it either. So they're going to get by, and then what's going to happen is the Kool-Aid drinkers out there is going to start hyping this defense up. And if you watch them, they are not like that juggernaut. I like 42 and what he has done. I think he has helped them on the edge. But still, he's not, nobody's scared of 42. Juan Pierre, whatever his name is. My point to you, Christian, Yanze, whatever. The thing is,
come on, all right, now don't do that. Don't do that. Come on, that's what Damien's talking about with that. You come on, don't.
What Damien?
Any good? No, long story. Go ahead.
Yanze Pierre, right?
There you go.
Okay. So I don't know why I was thinking Juan, whatever.
Well, it's a little bit different of a name.
Yes. So my thing is this, man. I think they have gotten better, especially in the pass rush department. I'm still not sold on their secondary. I think when they play an offense that got frisbee catching dogs, that can sling it around, that Alabama is going to struggle defensively. They just have not had to play somebody. Even Vanderbilt, they're a trickeration offense. They're gonna, with all these inside zones, and they're not no wide open offense that's going to be slinging the ball over the yard. Alabama has gotten very blessed and lucky, fortunate, whatever you want to call it, to not having to play an offense that's going to threaten this defense. So I think if you're not careful, you're going to get this like, oh man, this defense, I'm telling you. And they made a critical stop. Well, they The pick six was thrown right. I mean, it was tipped up. It was bobbled because the running back just dropped the ball. Razul Faison, the running back of South Carolina. That gave him that. Lenore's trying to stretch the ball out on the run play. The guy hits it and it comes out. It's not like this defense done anything.
Well, hold on. I want you to keep going, but I will say this though. Tennessee,
I'm
I just
just
wanted to make
saying.
sure. Listen, hold on. I wanted to see where Tennessee is at right now because I knew they're going into the game. They were the number one scoring offense and like top two at least of just total offense. That remained the same, if not better, because nationally they still are the number one scoring offense, and they are actually the number one total offense in the country, averaging 504 yards per game. So, I mean, listen, you got to give credit there. I mean, listen, and what I will say this: not everything you're saying, technically, what you're saying is not too far off. Because I do agree, and I've made comments like Missouri. They were one of the best teams rushing, but they had no vertical passing game, and I thought that definitely clearly played in our favor in that matchup. South Carolina, very similar situation, right? Tennessee, though, there's not really an excuse that you can kind of come up with that one. I mean, it's the number one scoring offense, and they run the ball well. They throw the ball well. They've got Frisbee catching dogs. They got, dude, their receiver room is arguably almost as good as ours, I would argue. I mean, they've got talent there. And we saw how the defense played that game. So, listen, all I'm saying is now Reagan came on here and said he feels like this defense is, I think he said, is good or better. It's like some of the defense like I played on. I said respectfully, hell no, I wouldn't go that far.
Right? You know, Reagan don't sleep much sometimes, right?
Yeah, he might not have slept. He might not have slept.
Yeah, he ain't getting no rest that night.
But they are making huge strides, and that's what I want to acknowledge, right? More so than anything. Not so much like I get that we probably could have faced some other teams that really challenged us in some other aspects, but let's just call a spade a spade. We go on the road to Missouri. They're averaging like 300 yards on the ground. We saw the explosives that we had been giving up on the ground. Our defense impressed me, even though I thought Missouri didn't really lean into it as much as I thought. I think their backs had a combined like 17 carries total. I thought they kind of got away from what they do best. But still, even when they tried to do it, outside of that one run by Roberts, we held them to like a very low number on the ground. So again, I'm giving credit. That's what I'm saying. I think you're looking from like a broad angle of like, whoa, this and I hear what you're saying because it's not all the way off. But I'm like, come on, man. At some point, I'm saying I think it's time to acknowledge the strides that they made. And it's not their fault. Not all the offenses they played have been the most explosive offenses.
I gave them a slow clap.
But I'm saying even like something like this, like the big stops in the red zone. I think we are one of the best teams defensively when it comes to red zone. I mean, like that's huge, man. Like that. Like think about like Vanderbilt, right? Vanderbilt, they get the ball. I forgot what it was. They're marching down the field. They're looking to go up 2 scores on us, which if they do, that game could go completely different. Justin Jefferson, man. It's not like a fluke. It's not like the ball intentionally ripping the ball out. You watch LSU, Bray Hubbard, first play of the game, intentionally ripping the football out. Peanut punch by 41 and landing on the bike. You might, the South Carolina thing, yeah, you get blessed every now and then, tips and overthrows. That's part of football. And listen, you got to take advantage of it. Y'all had an opportunity, Ty, threw it a double coverage. We took a shot on second down, right into 31's hands, and he dropped it like he just got done eating a bag of popcorn. You know what I'm saying? So you still got to take advantage of it, right? So I'm just saying, I mean, like, what would it take for you to kind of give them that? Not that this even matters. I'm just saying
when if they went out, they're gonna probably play Texas A&M or Georgia, right? If they went out.
You said okay. Listen. Texas A&M is. I'm okay. You wouldn't. There's nothing you could. Even though Tennessee is statistically better in a lot of that stuff, Texas A&M, they have a lot of stuff that, in terms of you talk about their quarterback with what he can do with his legs. If, say we play Texas A&M in the SEC championship game, and defense does what they need to do. There's no way you come back on this show after that and have the same attitude you have right now. And we agree on that. Again, this is. I mean, doesn't even matter.
If they do it against A&M, and then they're gonna get Georgia again. I'd love to see them get Georgia.
Well, we did it, but we played Georgia.
No, I said again.
Come on, man. I mean, like you really stretching goalposts now, bro.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. I just want to see it.
We mean again. You saw it ahead. I mean, I know it was early on in the year, but it was at Georgia. I mean, bro.
That was a great win. That was a great one.
That's a hit.
I'm just saying. I love.
We gave up way too many yards on the ground that game. I'm with you.
I would much rather see Alabama, Georgia again than Alabama and A&M.
Nah, to me, what A&M has the ability of doing with their quarterback Malik Reed, with his ability to run and whatnot and throw, to me, going and shutting down that, I'm just talking about.
You got a better chance. You got a better chance of beating better chance of beating Georgia again.
Well, that's why I'm saying I would put more respect on a good defensive performance against A&M because of that dynamic with a quarterback like Malik Reed. Not to mention we hadn't played them. We already played Georgia. Even though it's hard to be a team twice, you at least, you got tape from the same year. You're going to, building off of that. Let's do this. We got to hit a timeout. We come back. We'll continue. This is a good conversation. There's some comments I want to read in the chat. I'm sure they got some questions for you with your take, which is great, man. I love it when we get the pot stirred a little bit. Makes for good radio.
I knew a guy named Ricky. I guess you could say he don't know football.
Oh wow!
I'm just kidding, Ricky. I'm gonna give you some Kool-Aid right here.
He's giving you some Kool-Aid, and we'll continue. Well, I'm not. He will. When we come back after this quick timeout, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC.
Your flagship home.
All right, let's see some of these comments. Dang, Gov hit you with what you say. If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. I think yours is a little bit different, but I mean, he's kind of right though. I mean, like, let's see Gov in the chat. Hold on. So you got Tennessee, they're number 1 total offense. We have played Florida State. They're number 3 in the country in total offense. Now, I'm not going to. That obviously wasn't a great performance.
That game didn't count. That was the first game.
Right. So let's keep on. Let's see who the next best.
They just lost to Clemson, lost to Virginia, lost to some.
Hey, but no. We're talking about defensive performance right now. Don't overthink it now. Vanderbilt is the next best team that we've faced. They're 24th nationally, and we did a good job there. So I mean, I know you can try to say trick gimmick type, but still, they beat LSU. Who has a good defense? They made
a lot of people beat LSU.
Yeah, okay, but we're talking about defense. Okay, look how good LSU's defense was when they played us. They had success. What do you mean? LSU's defense against us? What are you talking about? They had a hell of a game.
They played hyped up because the coach fired. I mean, that's all emotion.
Come on, fan. Oh. This dude, he gonna have something for me.
Mayo.
No, Georgia, the 31st ranked offense, right? So I mean, look, three of our wins, right, came against the first ranked, 24th ranked, and the 31st ranked offense. And all I'm saying is,
you lost to the first rank. Then okay, you on that?
No. Oh, excuse me. No, then we played the number 3, but we lost to them. Florida State's number 3. So, listen. It is honestly, it's honestly, bro. I just was curious on your thoughts because we talk a lot about defense here on this show, and I just was curious if you actually would be coming around. I see what you're saying in terms of not necessarily been the most tested, right? Defensively speaking, at times. Offensively, it's a different story. I feel like offensively, we've definitely Missouri's defense, South Carolina's defense. LSU's defense, hell, even Vanderbilt's defense at the time was pretty decent.
Okay, y'all want that? You want to play the little stat game? Well, they're ranked here. I mean,
no, I'm not playing it like that. No, what I'm saying is, I know how the games went, but I'm just telling you because you're saying I have to pull up the stats. I mean, I can't just say like, oh, well, I think the offenses that we played are good. I mean, that proves it. I mean, that's their resume, right? Like that shows how they typically perform. Like Tennessee, like that was I think it was their lowest scoring game all year that we held them to when we played them a few weeks ago.
They played a good game. They played a good game
listen,
against
and that
Tennessee.
wasn't like a fluke thing. Like I understand we had a home field advantage. That's tough for an offensive. I understand that aspect, but you're talking about, I mean, outside of really the final drive or two for those guys when they're playing from behind and they're really just throwing it around. I mean, if you take that stuff away, it makes that performance look even more impressive. I'm not trying to get you to sit here and glaze our defense. I already know you're not going to. I just was curious if you've started to say, all right, you know what? This defense has somewhat done a 180.
I'm just trying to focus on my Bama aid.
Your what?
My Bama aid.
Bama aid.
What y'all be? Yeah, Kool-Aid. What y'all
Bama
be
aid.
drinking?
Bro, come on, don't hit me with that. I'm not drinking none of that, bro. I'm calling it how I see it, bro. I'm calling it how I see it.
What about you? Said something about Damien. What did he do now?
No, that went into the whole conversation about the mouthpiece thing. He does. It started though because, long story short, Tyrion was talking about on the podcast the way he was like Bo, whatever his name is, Scarborough, as if like he didn't really know Bo's name, and so that's what Damien had just responded saying. This is why I don't really go back and reach out much because like that's kind of how they do you. Like you'll be on a podcast and it's kind of like they're at like, oh well, whatever his name is, and so that's why I'll just
Turning on honor like he didn't know Bo's name.
Yeah, and that's why Damien was kind of he no. To be fair, I'm not trying to be. He corrected it. He said, he corrected it, but initially it did seem like he kind of was low key, like not sliding it, but it's kind of like whatever his name is. And welcome back into this Thursday. This is the Miller's Edge Top 100.9, 1230. WTBC presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Sport Experts. All right, so I feel like we're not going to really get much movement with your stance on that right now. So we'll see after.
I mean, listen. I think they're going to have an opportunity this week against Oklahoma to
Oklahoma's
impress
offense isn't
the pass.
anything though. But
listen, they struggle with a dual threat quarterback. And I'm just trying to tell you, Mateer can play, and he can make every throw now. I mean, he hurt his hand. He got back very quickly, and I think it took him some time to kind of adjust. He might have, I mean, get your hand and throwing. That's a problem. So, but Mateer is an excellent football player. I'm just trying to tell you, he can make throws,
he
and
ain't the
he
same
can
after that
extend.
injury though, bro. He's not throwing the ball nearly as well.
Okay, sleep on him and see.
No,
and I'm
I'm
trying
not.
to tell
Listen,
you,
I shouldn't say like they're nobody. What I'm saying is, to me, if you say, "Oh, if Bama's defense plays well against Oklahoma's offense, that'll kind of move the needle," to me, that don't really make sense to me because I'm like, I would be much more impressed by how we played against Tennessee, the #1 offense in the country, versus Oklahoma, where you could literally be like, well, Oklahoma, they hardly throw for 150 yards a game.
What's Tennessee's record? What's Tennessee's record?
What do they have? 2 or 3 losses now? I can't remember. They've got 3. They're 6-3.
Is anybody talking about Tennessee? Nah. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, if I had to pick a couple offenses right now that I feel like
in the early game, they were scoring 50, 60 points against nobody. So your stats can be inflated. Come on, man.
They also still put up like 27 on Oklahoma's defense, who only averages 14. So, I mean, listen, bro, let's not act like it's that. I mean, yes, that is true, but don't make it seem like that's the only picture. If we got to match up against like Ole Miss or A&M, I feel like those matchups, man. I mean, those would definitely be tough. But then again, this is all hypothetical stuff. Let me ask you this.
Listen, I am Alabama. I think Alabama got a great chance to do some great things this year. I think Kalen DeBoer has a great opportunity to get the monkey off his back from last year. But they got to finish well. I mean, everybody's in parade mode already down in Tuscaloosa, right? You get on there and everybody's all right, Kalen, but he has to finish well. If they end up going to Atlanta, he needs to win it. Then what they do in the playoff, I just think they're going to find the wrong matchup and then they're going to get exposed. That's what I see. because of that offensive line. I really do.
I hate to say it, but I'm not going to completely disagree with you because I keep saying I think it's going to take us matching up with a team that also has really good defense, but is also very capable of putting points on the board. Because we all know, like, our defense is playing really well, but at some point, man, like, you can't rely on your defense to just be perfect all the time or come up with all these stops. Like, at some point, there's going to, like you said, there's going to be a team that matches up, and they're also going to be able to capitalize. Because let's just face it, a lot of teams haven't been capitalizing playing us. So I hear exactly what you're saying. I also feel like that if we don't, let me be clear, because I don't want people sitting there getting mad at me and start calling me Greg McElroy or Damien just because I'm just going off of my football sense. If we don't get things cleaned back up offensively, where we get back to those, long, efficient drives, controlling time of possession, being able to, excel at that 2-minute drill, put points up on the board. Because again, I don't expect us to just we haven't been blowing anybody out. Best believe we're not going to just magically get to the postseason. That's just going to start happening. What I'm saying is, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, for me, Bama hasn't wowed me. I know they only lost one game, and they've won clutch games. But it's just something when I watch them, I don't come away from the TV too wowed. Like, this team.
But you said there wasn't a big gap between them and Oklahoma, or excuse me, Ohio State. So, like,
but because I think the overall product I think the overall product is down because parity, because money and portal. But no, I don't think there's a huge gap. But
for that, you'll need to sign in your account again. When it's safe, check your car notifications.
So the thing is, they just don't wow me. They're a good team. That they are feisty, if you will. They are gritty. They win. They win some, like South Carolina win to Vanderbilt win. They grunt. They get it. They get it done. That's all that really matters. But if you're asking me, does Alabama wow me to be like this juggernaut team? No. I think they are very beatable against a lot of people. I think they're 15.
Come on, man.
I think there are 15 teams that can beat them. I mean, the neutral site game, or I'm just saying.
Now listen. Here's my thing.
I'm
with
just
what you
saying.
say. Hold on. No. Listen. And your opinion. You're entitled to that. But here's my thing. It's like you'll say something that definitely has merit, right? Like there's a lot of people that also a lot of people, right, that watch Alabama and they're still there, and that's true, right? You talk about whether it's our inability to run the ball consistently. The middle eight. We're great at the first half of that. The 2-minute drill before half, but then coming out, we've seen a number of turnovers coming out of halftime, or just slow starts out of halftime, 3 and outs. I get what you're saying, and letting teams stay in the game. So, like, what you're saying is people hear it, and they're not going to want to hear it, and they're just going to immediately, respond. But to be fair, I know exactly what you're saying, and it's not completely wrong, but it's like you choose to go all the way. I would not say there's 15 teams that I feel confident could. No, bro.
I'm not saying confident.
We've played a number. We've played 4 teams that are still currently ranked. I think it's still 4.
Top 15, I think, and I think just Alabama. I'm thinking that's most everybody.
No, I get
I'm just saying there's just parity across the league. Period. I mean, there's nothing in Alabama that shows me, hey, they're going to play Oklahoma or they're going to blow them out. There's nothing about Alabama that says when they play Auburn, it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a close game, and it's Auburn. I don't think they possess the dudes across the board that they just show up and beat people down like they stole something. I don't see that. I see a gritty team that will grind it out. They are confident. They don't lose hope. They got a good gel as far as the team is concerned. They got great leadership. And it doesn't matter. Just win the game. I'm just saying, but from the eye test, watching them for now 9 games, they don't wow me like they used to, like your teams and things that they show up and I expect them to win and win big.
And you're not wrong.
I don't see that anymore.
We do our predictions every Friday, and I hate to say this, but when our fans and our listeners, I should say, when they give us our predictions, and it's always like, 17 plus points, like by 75% of predictions, I'm like, man, I just don't really see that type of ball being played, let alone not just here, but really everywhere. Let me look at this. This is the most recent. You made a comment about those top 10, 15 teams or whatever. Ohio State, Indiana, A&M, then us, of course, at 4. Georgia 5, Texas Tech 6, Ole Miss 7, Oregon 8, Notre Dame 9, Texas 10. You got Oklahoma 11. That's where it starts to get. I mean, you got BYU, Utah, Vanderbilt, Miami, Georgia Tech. That said, I get what you're saying, but to be fair, I don't really see anybody really blowing anybody out. Like, I mean, I feel like you could almost probably say the same thing. You feel like the way about Ohio State, Indiana, like if they're matched up with other top 10 to 15 teams, you can confidently say like they don't really wow you to the point where you're expecting blowouts?
Indiana.
You're saying Indiana would be...
Indiana's a good team, but I just have a heart for Indiana. When I say Indiana, I still think of Bobby Knight. Sorry. I mean, I have a hard time watching Indiana.
That's your problem.
I know it, but I'm just saying. But I mean, it's Indiana. But they're going to do the same thing they did last year. They're going to get to the playoffs and lose. That's what's going to happen. But they're going to run up into a... No. I think the Big Ten is just that bad. I mean, think about it. The third best team used to be Penn State. They fired James Franklin. Now you got Indiana. Now you got Ohio State. You got Oregon, who's an okay team. Oregon's not the same. You watched them play last week. They got lucky winning that ball game against Iowa. They shouldn't even won that game. I mean, so listen, the Big Ten is just. I don't even know how good Ohio State is. I don't.
So what you're saying right now, I'm just trying to clarify for our listeners, for they start riding on other shows. I'm kidding. Is that you're saying pretty much across the board in college football, there's just not anybody that you really, and I agree. I think majority of anybody that watches any other teams would say the same thing.
Well, there's nobody even a listener considering they expect Alabama to show up there and just no, Alabama.
Eastern Illinois, right? I think we could agree on that one. That's expected to be a blowout.
Oh, they play them? Okay.
We play Eastern Illinois after Oklahoma. We got Oklahoma, Eastern Illinois, then we go on the road.
I wouldn't even play any of my starters. I'll put the freshman team out there.
Well, don't say that, because you got a whole hell of a lot of people that are about ready to riot because they want to see our freshman running back get some more carries. They about had it with all the other backs, and they're wondering why we're not seeing
They should. I mean, they should play them guys. I mean, why are you gonna play your start Eastern Illinois?
No, you're talking about Eastern. No. They're down. They want to see him like right now, like this week.
I might give Ty 1 or 2 series. I'm gonna put the freshman in there.
So you're talking about Eastern Illinois. We can't jump the gun though. Let me ask you this real quick. We got a couple minutes, Chase. If you don't mind, we'll just combine breaks. We'll get out of here in like 2 minutes. You feel confident?
Chase, how you doing, Chase? Talk to your boy, Chase. Hey, Corey. God bless you, Corey, man. It's great to hear your voice. What's up, Chase?
Speak for ourselves. What? That's crazy. Why stop playing with my guy Chase, man?
Chase, my dude. He's the one that greets me when I do call the phone line. He says, "Hey, Corey, boy, it's so great to hear you, man." He's a godly man. Chase is a godly man. Go ahead.
He is a godly man. Let me ask you this. So you do, and again, I'm just asking the question. I don't want our folks to get all upset, but you do feel like
upset.
Yeah, you just like good attention. You feel like if Alabama drops this game, doesn't really matter to them?
No, I mean it matters because you want to win, But at the same time, I think if you're 10-2, every fan, if they were given 10-2 at the beginning of the year with a new quarterback in Ty Simpson, they would have been like, "I'll take that every day, all day, twice on Sunday, right? And I'm gonna be in the playoffs." That's what matters. Get into the playoffs and play your best football in the playoffs. That's what I'm saying. I don't even really care about the SEC championship no more. To me, conference championships don't.
I do. Listen, because I played in 4 of them, and I've won 4 of them. The confetti falling on you, the rings you get. You're damn right. I care about it, I hate that whole thing now, where it's like maybe we shouldn't play in it to rest up.
I wouldn't even. I will have a regular season champion. They just need to do a regular season champion and be done with it.
Nah, bro, come on. There's history behind this, bro. Didn't you get honored at the SEC championship game, being an SEC legend? Like, come on, man. Like,
I did. That was cool, but they could have honored me anywhere. Any game would have been the same. My platinum helmet would have been the same.
Shout out to CJ Mosley. I think he's the one that's getting honored there this year.
But that's a very special achievement. I'm just trying to tell you that you and there were some of the best players ever played the game. I mean, that's a big deal. I mean, I don't take that. I only played Georgia every year, but been one of the best players. I mean, they don't, whether you play in the SEC or not, it's one of the best players ever played. And that's a high recognition. So shout out to the SEC.
Sure. But like I said, I care about it. I want us to win the SEC championship. And I think you win this game, I mean, you got to worry about the voodoo over in Jordan Hare, but should be
I'm worried
in good shape.
I might be more worried about Auburn than Oklahoma.
Bro, come on. Every week we got to hold.
Man, they got a new coach. You know they're going to throw everything at Alabama but the kitchen sink. And you know bad things seem to happen. So if you're a praying person, if you got some anointing oil, go down to Auburn, Alabama and start pouring. Because you know, it just seems like every time Alabama's on the road, here comes Auburn with some foolishness, kick six. I'm just trying to tell you.
Man, we don't need to be reminded of that right now because we got to get out of here. And I don't want people to end on that note. Big thanks to Chase behind the glass, all our listeners, Pastor Payne joining us on the, the highway lines, we'll call it that, where he joins us.
I'm getting ready to cross into Jacksonville, Florida right now.
There you go. Good deal.
Florida Gators.
And we'll look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow right on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
You've been listening to the Miller's Edge.
All right, good deal. We're still on the stream. I didn't know if you had any last things.
I'm lucky I didn't get no ticket. I don't want about 3 cops with the self-drive and doing this radio show, not paying attention. Dude was outside the car with his gun. I was speed 78 and 70.
Don't do
that.
that.
Don't bother you down.
Knock on wood. All right. Well, I was about to say, I didn't know if you wanted to say anything. I was going to sit here and play some of this tape real quick, but I'm probably going to get out of here.
I was trying to read the chat, but I was. Thank you for the safe travels. I saw that.
Unless there's something you guys wanted to see specifically real quick on this tape.
I met the ESPN, some of the crew last week at the honor when I was down there for Pop's homegoing and the viewing and everything. And they said they was coming back, so I think you got McElroy again for this game. I think that's what they told me. So I get back to back with McElroy.
I don't know why our fans are so hard on him, man. Like maybe I'm just not hearing something the same way, but
he gets on my nerves sometimes.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm saying from our fan perspective, they don't like him because they said it sounds like he's trying too hard not to be biased. But to me, I don't hear that. What I just hear is he's just calling it from like a football perspective. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we're not doing something right, he's just saying like we need to do something right. Or like he'll make comments like, I wish LSU right here would do this because he's just saying from a football perspective, like his mind is just seeing it like that. Like he's not supposed to sit up on the broadcast like, oh man, I hope Bama makes his first down so we can win.
Anytime when you cover your team, you have to be professional. I mean, it's like when I was working for the Giants. And, we covered the Jets. I did the Giants. And a lot of guys were getting mad because I was just real. I'm like, dude, you can't be a homer in here. I mean, I'm pulling from the Giants, but I'm doing my job. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
If you're struggling and you didn't do, you didn't keep containment spray in, well, I'm gonna call you out.
Right.
Not in a bad way, just you didn't do your job. They would get mad, but people you hate, Giants, or when I'm doing South Carolina games, you hate. So I'm like, what?
I just wish people understood that
just
like,
fans.
If fans think they care about a program, if they only understood, like, if you think guys, though, they put their bodies on the line and invested all that time, all those sacrifices just to be like, oh man, I'm gonna get to a point where I'm just rooting against these guys. I mean, unless I'm sure there's probably a situation, a guy had a bad, I don't know, experience at a school maybe, but that's different. You get what I'm saying? But anyway, Yeah, even like Damian, like when people get on Damian, like they say like, oh, he's ridiculing guys. I'm like, no, I mean, like he gets paid to offer his opinion. He understands the entertainment factor of it. And while like I might not do it like that, I know Coach Saban, and he did like, I'm more probably like how Coach Saban is with like kind of just trying not to say things that sound too critical or, you know what I mean? Like everybody has their own method and whatever. I just know at the end of the day, bro, he wants Bama to succeed. I don't understand why people don't understand that part of it. It's not anything personal. It's just literally the entertainment of it. And you know what's crazy? They can say what they want about Damian, but low key, man, he's crushing it. I mean, he's flying up the ranks where they've got him doing NFL coverage just as much now. Like he's only been doing it this is his second year. I mean, he's killing it.
No, he's good.
I love listening to him. He's really good, man. He does a hell of a job. And then when it's great, he does a good job too. Yeah, he does really good. All right, I got to get out of here. I got to get some lunch. I appreciate everybody hanging out with us. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back. Same time, same place. You guys already know the drill. If you haven't already, before you get out of here, hit that like button. We always appreciate that. It helps the algorithm. And subscribe.
Man, I'll give you the website. I'll give them the website too. So they can check out the services on Sunday.
Sounds like a plan. All right, we'll send that over and we'll get it to you. And we'll has Damian been in the program? If not, can we get it? Oh, on here? Yeah, Damian's come on here. But I'll try to get him back on here for you guys too. I know he's busy, but yeah, he's been on here a couple times. We'll see you guys. Be safe and roll tide.